All right, here's the last part. The second page, chapter 4, test, Form A. We're going to complete the chart for each problem, and we're going to use a chart to write an equation for each problem, and then we're going to solve each equation and answer the questions that were asked. If a problem has no solution, I'm going to explain why. So is it possible that we get problems that have no solution? Yes. All right. So Henry has 20 coins, all quarters and dimes. If the total value is 490, how many dimes does he have? All right. So the first thing is we have this table and it says that the number of coins times the value of each coin is the total value. And it tells us that dimes, we have X dimes. How many dimes? I don't know. I have X dimes. So, and the table tells me to do this value times this value. So the number of dimes times 10, because each dime is worth 10, will give me 10x. I'm going to make a slightly smaller pen. Or not. There we go. Then, well, if I have X dimes and I have 20 total coins, then how would I figure out how many quarters I have? Well, I would take my total of 20 and I would subtract out the dimes, which is X. So for my quarters, I have 20 minus X. Well, it's telling me here to multiply that by the value. The value of every quarter is 25. So I have 25 times the value of 20 minus X. And now I've completed the table chart. And so I'm going to create an equation for the problem. Well, I know that the value of my quarters plus the value of my dimes is going to be equal to 490 cents. And the value of my quarters is right here. It's 25 times 20 minus X. And the value of my dimes is 10X. And so that's going to equal 490. So then, let's just solve the problem. We're going to have to distribute. 20 times 25 is going to be 500 minus 25x plus 10x is equal to 490. Well, let's combine the x's, shall we? We have negative 25x and we have positive 10x, so we combine those for a total of negative 15x. I'm going to rewrite what I already have. So now I'm going to subtract 500 from both sides. So I have negative 15x is equal to negative 10. All right. So then I'm going to divide both sides by negative 15, divide by negative 15, and so I get x is equal to positive 2/3. Now, is it possible for me to have negative 2/3 dimes? Not so much. So this exercise has given me an impossible answer. Well, since I have an impossible answer, I know that this is not possible. Therefore, there is no solution because I cannot have 2/3 of a dime. All right, an eastbound train is leaving Chicago and averages 125 kilometers per hour heading for New York, which is 1,300 kilometers away. At the same time, a westbound train leaves New York City averaging 135 kilometers per hour heading for Chicago. In how many hours will the trains pass each other? Well, all right. So I know that rate times time is equal to distance. Well, I have my rate, I have my time, therefore my distance is going to be 125 t. Well, I know the westbound train, when they cross paths on the track, hopefully they're not on the same track, it'll also be t. So 135 times t is 135 t. Now I know that the value of the eastbound train in addition to the value of the westbound train is going to equal a total of 1,300 because the westbound train has gone a certain amount. The eastbound train's gone a certain amount, and if you add those together, when they cross, that will be the total distance between the two cities. So I have 125t plus 135t, and that's going to equal 1,300. Well, adding these two values together, because they both have t's, I get 260t is equal to 1,300. Well, what's the opposite of multiplying by 260? Dividing by 260. So I get t is equal to that's not what I want. There we go. 260. That's 5 hours. So in 5 hours, the two trains will pass. Not, but obviously won't be halfway through because one train's going faster than the other. All right, final problem. A mason builds 2 patios with the same area. One is a square, the other is a rectangle, and it is 10 meters longer than the square, but 8 meters less wide than the square. So I think we should draw these. I have a square. Do I know the value of the side length? No. When I don't, I'm just going to assign it an x. And since it's a square, both side lengths have a value of x. And I know that this is going to equal the new rectangle. Sorry for my not scale drawing. And we know it's going to be, I don't like my rectangle, I'm going to do it again. There we go. We know that it is 10 meters longer than the square, so that would be the value of the square plus 10, and it is 8 meters less wide, so that's 8 meters less than the original. So I have x minus 8, and I know that these areas are the same. And finally, we're being asked, what is the area of the patio? All right, so here we go. I know the area of the square is just going to be x squared, because x times x is, you guessed it, x squared. And that's going to be equal to this value times this value. So I have x minus 8 times, and because there's length and width, x plus 10. And I will distribute rainbow smiley faces or FOIL, depending on which way you like to talk about it. X times x is x squared. X times 10 is positive 10x. Negative 8 times x is negative 8x. Negative 8 times 10 is negative 80. And so let's combine these. So I get x squared plus 2x minus 80. And all this is going to equal x squared. Well, great. Let's solve this problem. So I'm going to select this, all this stuff really quick. I'm going to move it, or not. Or not is the answer. And I'll just use a different color. So obviously, if I have 2x on this side and 2x on this side, that means they will cancel out. So I'm left with 0 is equal to 2x minus 80. Well, hold on a second. This is negative 80. Therefore, this has to be equal to positive 80 for it to be equal to 0, right? Because they're opposites. So therefore, x has to equal 40. But that's not the question that was asked. We have found the value of the side length of the square. And likewise, we've found the value of, that's 30. We found the value, the side lengths of the rectangle, but that's not what it's asking. It's asking for the area of the patio. Well, 40 times 40 is 1,600 meters squared. And there we have it. I hope you're enjoying your Thanksgiving holiday. I'll see you on Monday.